All right, this is a bit of fun. They got some accessories or peripherals for you today from two of my favourite manufacturers of things like this, from Satechi and from 12 South. We've got, let's start with the M1 wireless mouse here. That's from Satechi. So it's a classy little mouse. I mean, there's only so much you can say about a mouse, but it fulfills all the requirements nicely. It's nice and slim, so you can just pop that in your laptop bag and you're good to go, and yet with nice durable aluminium scroll wheel, separate buttons, and of course, crucially, it's rechargeable via USB-C. So we'll plug that in and get that going shortly. And indeed, we will do a practical demonstration of some of these stands too. So this is the 12 South High Rise Pro, specifically for Mac, but you can put pretty much any laptop on here. I'll show you how that works shortly. But so this adjustment at the back, if we undo that, gives me a bit of a surprise there because it's all spring loaded, so you can just pop that up and down and then hold that in place like that. It's got this vegan leather top to the stand, so you can pop things on there, and there's a little secret about this. So if you haven't read the review, you won't know what that secret is, but it has to do with this little rubbery plug here, and that's a bit of a hint there as well. So yeah, we'll show you that shortly, how all that works. But perhaps even more useful is this one. So this is also from 12 South, and this is called the Curve Flex, this stand. So when it looks like that, it's not much of a stand, but if we pop it up like that, and it's fully adjustable to different heights. So we'll get that going for you shortly as well. That's the 12 South Curve Flex. And then the last one is perhaps the simplest one of all, but maybe even more useful than any of the others. So this is from Satechi, and it is the dual vertical laptop stand. So laptop goes in here, and then you can put a phone or a tablet or whatever in there. I mean, that's all it does. It's just a stand, but it might be just what you need. Let's find out if it's just what you need. Let's go and set them up in a real life situation, see what they look like. Okay, so here we have a my mock-up of my work from home office here. So we've plugged in this external display to the MacBook, and we want to get a nice ergonomic 2-screen setup. But first, as you can see, I've got my wireless keyboard all ready to go, my nice Satechi M1 wireless mouse. That'll work on pretty much any surface, even this shiny tabletop with grooves and things in it. I mean, you might want to get yourself a mouse pad, obviously, but anyway, that's all good to go. First stand to look at is the High Rise Pro from 12 South. Now, as I talked about earlier, it's got this little hidden feature here. So we take that rubber sort of lug out. What does that look like it can fit? Well, if you've got one of these, and if you've got a recent iPhone, you should have one of these, because it's a MagSafe charger, so you can charge your iPhone wirelessly. And the cool thing about this stand is that if we push that in there, and it fits in absolutely perfectly in there like that. This, with the vegan leather on top, has now become a wireless charger for your iPhone, just like that. So while you're working away, you can leave the phone there and charge it up. But in the meantime, let's use the stand for a stand, and I'll show you just how easy it is to adjust it exactly where you want. So let's put it there, and yeah, I mean, that's not too bad, right? We've got screen by screen, but maybe you want to put it a little bit higher or a little bit lower to just get to the exact height. So we literally, and I'll just take it off so I can demonstrate, we've got that little adjustment at the back, and it's spring loaded, so it'll pop up to its biggest height or its lowest height. So should we put it up a bit higher and put the screen on and see if we can match it up just where we want it to be to create that dual screen display. So yeah, and that means, you know, the keyboard and mouse and everything basically is underneath the laptop. None of this is taking up any desk space. As I said, we can put our phone down there, pens on there, whatever you like. You actually, you've got a lot of your desk space back. Shall we look at the next stand? Right, I love this one. What I didn't show you before is it comes in a pouch, so you can take it around with you. This is the 12 South Curve Flex stand. So yeah, folds nice and flat, and you can put it in that pouch, pop it in your laptop bag or your satchel or whatever, and so it'll go to pretty much any height you want at all. So as you can see, the hinges are quite stiff, so it'll definitely stay in place. It'll accommodate pretty much any size laptop. So there, you know, our screen's a little bit high perhaps, so we can just lower things down, and there's our perfectly aligned dual display all ready to go. Again, you're off the desk space here, and as I've talked about in the review, we can, you know, raise that right up. If I just take it off, I'll show you. So for example, if you are at a standing, see, it really is quite stiff, these hinges, so it's not going anywhere. We can raise that right up, and it's probably going to go all the way out of shot even, you know, if you're up at a standing desk, and that means that webcam is on a much better angle for you to do your online meetings than, you know, if it's down below and angled up at you. Right, let's look at the last stand. So finally, we've got the Satechi dual vertical laptop stand here. So it's just this little thing, but as you can see, thanks to its nice sort of rubberized non-slip lining, it holds that MacBook there perfectly securely. We can tuck that MacBook right out of the way. That's the advantage to using, it's got such a small footprint on your desktop. So yeah, we're looking at the Mac on this external screen, but it's all closed up and tucked away there. And it's the dual vertical laptop stand, because you can put a phone or another tablet in that front slot. And if you do have a spare iPad, of course, with Mac OS, you've got the nifty screen mirroring function, so you can literally use that as a second display there if you want. So a lot of options just from one little stand.